The race for the presidency may be over, but the race for House Minority Leader has just begun. Joining us now from his hometown of Youngstown, Ohio, is Congressman Tim Ryan, who's challenging Nancy Pelosi for her House leadership position. Congressman, what is wrong with Nancy Pelosi? As leader, that is.
Well, what's wrong is we keep losing. I love Nancy Pelosi. She was a mentor of mine. I've got a lot of respect for her. She's a historic figure. But we keep losing, John. I mean, we're down 68 seats since 2010, smallest Democratic caucus we've had since 1929, and we got to keep score here. And if a coach keeps having losing seasons, even though it's tough, we got to get a new coach.
So, Congressman, do you think that the minority leadership job, in Congress is both a legislative job and also obviously has political implications? You're pointing to a political problem. What is it that you think that makes you qualified, having never held a leadership position in the House before, to lead the Democrats on the legislative level in terms of trying to stop Donald Trump's agenda, get things done for the Democratic Party?
Well, you got to be ready to fight, and I come out of Youngstown, Ohio politics, so I know how to fight, and I think that's going to be important in the next 2 years. And you have to work your way back into the majority. I mean, we can talk as Democrats all we want about infrastructure or, the future of work or technology and all of that stuff. It doesn't mean a hill of beans if you're not in the majority. So this stuff is very integrated. And I just believe that under the current leadership, we cannot get the 40 or so seats we're going to need to get back that aren't on the coast. We're not a national party right now. We're a coastal party. And if we're going to get back into the majority, we got to, build that blue wall that collapsed the other day. We got to build it back up. And we've got to go in the southern states and win congressional seats. There's going to be an opportunity to do that because of the cycle and the complete Republican control, not just at the national level, but also in states. So we're going to have a hell of an opportunity, but we better position ourselves properly with the right message and the right messengers to go out and scoop those Trump voters and bring them back into the Democratic fold.
Do you see any, obviously Donald Trump won your state, I think he won your district. Do you see any parallels, or are there examples that you will follow from his political arc this year? I mean, do you see yourself and your political efforts as having any parallels to his in the way you're trying to topple really an establishment figure? He toppled 16 in my party. Do you see yourself as the Donald Trump in this race?
Well, I've been talking about issues that Donald Trump was talking about, economic issues anyway, for a long time, and there have been a lot of other Democrats that were doing that. And I think if we're going to get back in the game as Democrats, it's about having a robust economic message. We can be progressive. We can stand up for all of those very important issues that we all believe in, equality for all and all the rest, and those are important. But the lead issue's got to be economics, Nicole. It's got to be robust. It's got to be every single day. I mean, look at Trump. He had people disagreeing with so many different things that he did and said, but the fact of the matter was his economic message pushed out and drowned it out everything else he was talking about or that other people were talking about. And we need to do that as Democrats, because at the end of the day, I feel like we're better on those issues than he will be.
But it sounds like you're angry that Hillary Clinton ran a campaign that focused on other issues, on equality, I think you mentioned. Are you angry at the campaign she ran?
I'm turning the page. I'm heartbroken about Tuesday night. I mean, it was an earthquake that came through the industrial Midwest and the Great Lakes states. So I'm heartbroken. But look, I come out of sports. You get knocked down, you get back up. You lose a game, you go watch the film, you study, you figure out who the opponents are, and you put a new game plan together. We've got to turn the page. And to my fellow Democrats, especially those that I serve with, we've got to ask ourselves the question, how many seats do we have to lose before we're willing to make a change? Is it 70 seats, 80 seats, 90 seats? Like, what's the number until the light bulb goes off and says, look, we have a responsibility for our kids and our grandkids and our party to rebuild and make a change?
So, Congressman, you're from Youngstown. You understand the Rust Belt. You understand you're kind of a champion here of lunch pail economics, right? Richard Trumka, a guy who shares a lot of your views about a lot of things, tweeted out today that Nancy Pelosi was with us before and after the election. Our agenda is her agenda, and that's why we're with her to be the Democratic leader. What do you say to Rich Trumka?
I love Rich Trumka, but I think we saw what happened on Tuesday, and it's time for a change. I mean, look, I'm running against Nancy Pelosi, John. I'm having a lot of disagreements with some people in my party right now. I'm pulling the fire alarm because the house is burning down. And we can sit here and we can play the normal traditional game, and we're going to get where we got. And where we are right now is not where I want to be. I mean, we got a lot of young people in this party that want to move up. We've got a dynamic party. We've got a good agenda. I think we understand a lot of what's going on in the economy and how to rebuild it. That message is not getting out. We've got to change, the quarterback, and it's just time to do that. And I love Rich, but I think we got to go in another direction.
Congressman Ryan, we got to fly. Great to have you on.